Tuesday to everybody. Good off week for us. Gets a couple things done. I mentioned this last night on the radio show, but it allows us, one, to get some of our guys that have been really playing through injuries and bumps and bruises, to give them a little bit of help. It allows us to get some guys that are right on the edge of coming back and helping us, Malik McLean, Elijah Winston, Jordan Isefa, just one step closer and get them going. It allows us to advance some young people that are right on the cusp for having to go in there and play one play away. Gets us a little bit ahead for Notre Dame, to be honest with you. We started installing some of the base game plan today for Notre Dame. And it allows us on a Friday, we'll have 2 padded practices tomorrow and the next day. And then Friday, our kids will do a strength and conditioning circuit, and then we'll have the opportunity to go out and recruit. So I know injury-wise, you'll want to know where everybody's at. The quarterback situation is Keenan's allowed right now, to cleared to practice without contact. He's not cleared for contact yet, but it's good to get him back out here, get him throwing, and get him exerted, which is good. We'll go through the week, allowing both quarterbacks to be able to get better and exceed, and we'll see, where we are medically going into next week. I'll be able to let you know, hopefully by next Tuesday, where we stand on that, if not sooner. Talanoa is the same way. He's allowed to practice without contact. Elijah Griffin felt good today, practiced. I would expect him to be back for the next game. So hopefully this is a week that allows us to catch up health-wise and get a healthier ball club going into South Bend. With that, I'll take any questions that you got. Yeah, there's some guys that, like I said, have been really playing through some hurts and pains, and Ra has been playing with a not only a foot but a shoulder and fighting through it. Christian Rector has been playing with that high ankle sprain and really fighting through it. Vavai, we saw the knee a couple weeks ago, and has really really been fighting through that. So to be able to shut them down just for a couple days and allow them to catch back up and allow those things to heal is really important. You saw the guys that just have bumps and bruises out here are still practicing. They'll go through the week, but the guys that have significant things that we need to get a handle on, we're allowing this week.
Liam Jimmons got in there Saturday. Was there an injury to jail, and it was just an opportunity for Liam?
No, it was an opportunity for Liam. He's really been putting in great work out here. He got 10 snaps in the game. The big run that Stephen Carr had was really him. He ate up the 4-eye technique and did a tremendous job. It gives. I'm really happy for him for making the conversion from D-line to offensive line. That progression, trusting the process, and really put himself in a position where we felt, man, this guy can get in there and give us some reps at that guard position. Let Jalen catch his breath for a second, or if we were to have an injury at one of the tackles, Jalen would have to go out there. So it allows him to get in the game, feel what that's like, and he had 10 great snaps. So he'll continue to play. He did a nice job.
He's still out indefinitely?
Right now, he's one of the ones that we're going to evaluate through this week and see how it's going. He's got one more week of being able to rehab it. We'll test it out next week, see where it's at, and then we'll make a decision for the rest of the season based off where he's at and how he's feeling. So I'll be able to let you know for sure what the future looks like with him next Tuesday.
Which younger players do you want to get more work this week?
Some of the guys in the secondary, I think it's going to be really important to continue to advance, even though they're playing a lot of the reps. But you get a Jaden Williams, a Max Williams, a Raylan Goforth, who's been those guys that have been playing special teams that are literally, one snap away from having to go in and being the guy. So it's going to help us, I think, a bunch defensively with that young secondary and some young linebacking core that is literally a snap away from having to go in there and be a major contributor. I think it's also going to help the young wideouts like a Drake London and a Munir McLean, a John Jackson that are literally one step away from going in there. A Jude Wolf, who's now his contribution is going to have to go up with Josh suffering an MCL sprain, so he's going to have to be ready for Notre Dame. So those guys that are right on the cusp, this is a really important week for them.
Marquis Step was committed to Notre Dame and decommitted. What do you recall from his recruitment in that moment when he kind of came back on the market, so to speak?
Yeah, and I just felt like we were really fortunate to get a guy of that caliber and just a first-class person that I thought handled his recruiting the right way, and came out here, had a very genuine interest and love for this place, and went through the process and thought it out and said, this is the best fit for me. and sometimes going a little bit away from home is the best fit. And proud of what he's doing. Wow, what another good game that he's had. So proud of where he's at as a redshirt freshman. He's got a bright future.
Were you guys looking at him when he was still committed to them, or did it really start after?
Well, we had a relationship with him. Usually these kids, you know how recruiting is. You know them since 9th, 10th grade. And so you get to know them, and then you hope you draw enough interest that they'll come out, make an official visit, and like it. And in his case, he did. He loved it. And credit to his parents. I thank his parents every time I see him for letting him come from Indianapolis, Indiana, all the way out to Los Angeles, California, and the trust to allow their baby to come out here and us to adopt him and watch over him and grow him into a man.
I know you talked a little bit about the Fair Pay to Play Act in the past. Do you feel like, just what you know about the law in California currently, do you feel like that would affect a coach's job significantly, especially when you're talking about maybe the recruiting trail or getting recruits?
And I said this last night. I think it's really too early to tell where this thing's going to go. When you're talking about 2023, it is a topic of discussion right now. It's an important topic of discussion. Obviously, it's a national topic, our state and our governor and our legislature made a full speed decision. And now between the state legislation, between the NCAA, between universities, we got 4 years to figure out where it goes to from here. And as coaches do, rules change and things change. And for a coach, what's your job is your job to adapt. And in my 25 years, a lot of stuff has changed. It continues to. And so that's part of being a coach, is adapting with the changing culture, the changing rules, the changing environment. And this will be one of those. But I have great trust in our state legislature, as well as the NCAA, as well as the universities, that they'll come up. And this isn't just the only state. There's going to be multiple. I heard Florida is already trying to get one passed. And so it'll be a national topic. And over a course of time, it'll be figured out what's best for both sides.
Florida's looking at 2020. I mean, they may be speeding things up.
Yeah. I'm in California, so
okay.
Even though my home state is Florida.
Yeah, I know.
Have you made any certain redshirt decisions at this point now?
We're going through in this off week and evaluating kids this week. Some kids have already passed the 4 games, that we're committed to, playing for the rest of the year. Some guys are sitting at 2, 3, 4 games, and still having a game available to do. But when we hit that 4-game mark, we sit down with guys and be able to say, okay, here's where we are. Here's where we are. You're making significant contribution. I have a huge database sheet that I get each Monday that has the players' total number of plays for the season, for each game, offense, defense, special teams, and I look at their contribution and what they're doing. And once we commit to a kid that it's his opportunity to play the whole season, then we're trying to garner enough reps for it to be a quality season where they can get, hopefully 100 plays or more on tape, whether that's offense, defense, and special teams.
Play with Kedon and Matt Fink now both having road starts under their belt. How helpful would that be if there is any uncertainty going into next week about Kedon's status?
Well, I think, and I'm so happy for both because they've gotten experience, and that's what makes a quarterback. And it's not only the success, it's the failures too that you end up learning from. And both of them have had success and failure, and they've grown from it. And I'm happy for both of them that they got the opportunity. I've told them both that learn from each experience, and they will. And being on the road, they've learned is hard. There's a level of decision making and discipline that it's even harder when you're not in the friendly confines of the Coliseum. So for both of them to get that experience, wow, I mean, that's awesome. Just it raises their stock as players and helps them grow as quarterbacks.
Do you think, looking back, that you might have been able to run a little bit more than you did?
I really thought we ran the ball pretty well, to be honest with you. Like I said, we averaged 7 yards a carry and then ran successfully. And like I was saying, every time we got moving, it seemed like we turned the ball over. So, I mean, to me, the bigger issue was the turnovers. Like I said, I think we ran the ball well. We ran the ball fairly often. At times, we should have handed it off, and he threw like a little RPO off of it. But, again, I thought that the O-line did a heck of a job, and the running backs ran pretty well. And especially, I think, against BYU, who played a similar defense, we're averaging like 4 yards a carry, you know, and then you go in there and you average 7 yards a carry. So they did a lot of things well. Again, we just got to take care of football, and I think that solves most of your issues.
How did Kedon look today?
It's like a walkthrough, so we all look good.
Assuming Kedon is back, we assume then like Matt goes back to backup.
Yeah, if Kedon's, you know, I think if Kedon's healthy, you know, and then number 2, because we thought he gave us our best chance to win, you know, at the beginning of the deal. So, you know, like I've said from the beginning, I think Kedon's a special player. But player health is obviously, well, you got to take care of those guys, you know what I mean? Especially when it comes to head injuries and something I don't know much about. So he's got to figure that out. You know, I guess whenever his head's right, he'll be right too. But no, he's a great player, and you know, hopefully he gets healthy. But the most important thing is for him to get healthy, you know. And so, but when he does get healthy, like I said, I would plan on playing.
Both of those guys threw 3 interceptions in their road starts. You have another road start coming up after the bye. How do you talk to them about that, or what's the key to limiting those turnovers, especially when you're on the road?
I hope it doesn't have anything to do with being on the road, but I think it's just poor decision making. But because we got, you know, however many more games on the road, and I don't get much say in whether we play at home or on the road. So, you know, I don't talk much about what stadium we're playing in, because it's a football field. You know, the same dimensions no matter where you play, and they're playing with 11, we're playing with 11, whether it's in the Coliseum or in South Bend, Indiana. So, to me, it comes down to just making better decisions, and like I said, I think hopefully they'll learn from it and learn from the mistakes and take care of the football. Because again, if we take care of the football, like I said, it solves most of your issues, I think.
Obviously, had some setbacks with Graham Harrell. Is the offense what you envisioned it to be now 5 games into the season?
Yeah, I think they've done a lot of good things, and like you said, with a quarterback change, you're going to do some different things offensively to try to fit that guy, obviously. But you know, when teams have been when teams have allowed it, we've been really explosive. You know what I mean? And that's what I thought they would be. And then when teams try to take it away again, I thought the O-line did a heck of a job the other night. And the running backs had played pretty well too. You know, and like I said, I think they averaged 7 yards a carry. That's a heck of a job. And so that's what I thought, that we could be successful playing any solid football because of the guys we have. And so they've shown that. Again, I think red zone mistakes and turnovers in general throughout the whole season, not just the 2 road games, but in all the games, have hurt us at times. But other than that, they've moved the ball well and been explosive both running the football and throwing the football. And like I said, I think we can have success playing any style of football with the guys we have. We just have to, you know, continue to execute and continue to improve. But I think they've done a heck of a job for the most part, other than, like I said, some turnovers.
That's the tempo and pace from what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I think they're playing, you know, when we try to go really fast, they do a good job of that. And then the other times, I think they played a pretty good tempo. So, again, I think they've bought in, they've executed pretty well. And like I said, turnovers have been the biggest issue, I think, of the first 5 games.
How do you mitigate that, I guess, going forward, especially when you have an off week, to think and talk about that? What are the steps that you take to try to change that, other than tell guys to be more disciplined?
I think it just comes down to execute, you know what I mean? And nothing can change. And a lot of it has to do with the experience, I think. I mean, the more live reps you get, the more coverages, the more times you've seen a play, the more comfortable you get with it, the more you can execute. And you just kind of get a second nature of where people are, and you have a feel for that. And that comes with reps and like I said, reps and experience and stuff like that. And so the more reps we can get these guys, the better, obviously. But it's decision making, and you got to be disciplined to take down the football, and that's something that we've talked to them about, especially when teams are going to drop 8 on us, like the last couple teams have. But so it comes down to making good decisions, and again, the more reps you get, the better you're going to be. And like I said, I think Kedon, I think we got a room full of special guys. But he's still a true freshman at times, you know what I mean? And at times, a true freshman is going to make some mistakes because it's the first time he's ever been out there, and that's part of it. But we got to try to, again, expedite that process as fast as possible. But he's, you know, he's a special guy, and he knows he's made poor decisions. I don't even like they all do. It's pretty clear when, you know, if it's on you or not on you, and a lot of it's decision making, and we just got to make good decisions. But I'm confident they will.
what BYU did, what Washington did? Do you expect it to be more of a blueprint going forward for teams?
We'll see. I guess if that's in your, I think some people that's in their, kind of in their package to do it, and there's some teams that's not. You know what I mean? And so, if it's in their package, probably. If it's not, I think, that people aren't. I want to think people are just going to make something up that they don't do, or just try to go do something they don't do. Just because you're not going to have many reps on it, and just like I always talk about, if you've never done it, you just try to go in there and do it in a week. The execution is not going to be what it is if it, compared to if it's something that you have and that you've worked on for years. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, I don't know if that's what people do or not. I think if it's in the package, we'll probably see a decent amount of it. If it's not, I would imagine they come out and do their own, do what they do. They may play a little more deep, try to take away explosives, which is what I think at the end of the day what those last couple teams tried to do. But I don't think that they're just going to make up try to copy that defense if it's not something that they do. But we'll see. Like I said, whatever they play, we got to go try to go execute.
If you do keep seeing it, is there one adjustment you'd like to see your guys make against that kind of look?
Like I said, I thought they did some really good things and ran the ball really well. And to me, it's the quarterback just has to be disciplined enough to check the football down if you don't have it down the field, And if you do that, you're going to move the ball. Because we got special guys. There's a couple reps if you go look that we had guys open. If you throw it, Michael Pittman's wide open. If you throw it to him, and he's got 15 yards of space, good luck tackling. You know what I mean? But you got to be disciplined enough to throw it to that guy. And as a quarterback, it can be frustrating at times because you want to take a shot, you want to throw it down the field, and sometimes it's just not going to allow you to do that. But you can still be explosive by throwing a hitch to Michael Pittman and then asking a 170-pound corner to come tackle him. I like our chances. He might tackle him every now and then, but he's not going to tackle him every time. And that's you got to be disciplined to do that. And like I said, I think that's the answer is just make wise decisions. If they're not going to throw down the field, don't throw it down the field. Put it in those guys' hands and let them go, especially with the ball in their hand, because that's what they are.
Yep. On Saturday from the sideline.
It was tough, but Matt came in and did his best. And, everyone really fought really hard, and that was a little different perspective, being on the sidelines and be able to be a leader and team it that way. But definitely wish you could be out there and play.
What did you try to contribute from the sideline?
Just giving Matt as much input as I could. Obviously not too much. You don't want to be in his head too much, but and still you got to be a leader and be a vocal leader to those guys on the sideline and talk to the O-line, talk to the receivers. Keep everyone up, especially when you're down 14-0. Everyone kind of tends to get down a bit, so you try to uplift them as much as you can.
How difficult is that play at the goal line where you're reading the RPO and you're trying to get the ball to somebody at the goal, where when all the congestion and guys dropping off?
Yeah, you just have to be. That's one thing Coach always says. If it's great, you got to hand it. So it's pretty easy if you think about it that way. Because if you're not sure, you always hand it. So that's kind of your mindset. Is unless I know for sure I have it, I want to hand it to avoid any mistakes.
It's hard though if you're a quarterback. You're thinking.
Yeah, and sometimes you get excited, you get a good play call, and other times you think you see something pre-snap, and that's when you don't want to guess. But if you just go through your read and see it the whole way, and really just be disciplined, as Coach mentions, it's not that difficult.
When did the headache that you had from that hit, when did it feel worse? Was it right after? Was it the kind of next day? Or?
I took some Tylenol pretty soon after, so that helped. Probably the next day. That weekend was pretty bad. Yeah.
What did you do that weekend?
Nothing. To stay in dark room.
Yeah.
Lights off.
What are you working on during the bye week?
On the bye week, it's getting better in all aspects. I think the biggest thing with this offense is just staying disciplined as much as you can and going through your reads. No matter what defense we play, if you stay disciplined, we'll have a good chance to win. So I think that's the most important thing.
Is that the key to the quarterbacks limiting the turnovers, staying disciplined with the reads?
Yeah, definitely.
Is that tough to do sometimes? Just do you try to jump through the reads a little bit too much? Or?
I wouldn't say it's tough to do, but sometimes, as any sport or any position, you try to whenever you see something or get in the flow of things, that your thinking goes out the window a little bit. Sometimes, but you just have to go through your reads, and it's not that difficult. You just have to stay focused, and sometimes you get in the fast-paced game, you try to quicken things up.
Obviously, turnovers have been an issue, but from your perspective, how do you work on that over the course of the life, or how did you guys start trying to work on that?
Yeah, as a whole, we have one fumble on the entire season, I think. So, turnovers from everyone else besides the quarterbacks has been a plus thing. But yeah, from our perspective, again, you just got to stay disciplined, and I think on every single interception that me and Matt have had, and JT, it's the same thing, just staying disciplined. And if we go to our reads, we're not going to have that issue.
I recall we talked in December. You were telling me about how your mom said one concussion, you're done, and you got one your junior in high school. How concerned were your parents after that game?
Mom was a little concerned, as always. I think all moms would be, but you know, they know we got great medical staff here, and they had Ford neurologist in the room with me, so it wasn't like I was in bad hands.
Yeah. And I missed when did you start feeling yourself again?
Yesterday. Well, leading up to yesterday, but yesterday all the symptoms were gone.
If today was a full-time practice, would you be out here, or could you be out here because of?
Yeah, I think so.